Welcome to week 16 of my Trading for a Living challenge, where the goal is to make over $1,000 every single week. So we have now completed the first 4 months, and I'll be doing a separate video on things that I've learned from this experience, because this trading for a living and taking money out of your portfolio every single month, every single week is a completely different shift mindset to my main account, which I'm growing the portfolio. So any premium I make from selling options, I will go invest that money into buying more stocks of new companies or companies that I already hold. Where this, if you get assigned shares, which we have done, and we'll go through all the details in this video, you are forced to really keep those shares at that cost basis level and don't really have the opportunity to kind of roll that cost basis down. So what we're going to do in this video, as always, usual format, we'll go through the last week 16. We'll look at the trades, we'll look at the charts and my thought process, all that kind of good stuff. And all I ask for in return is that you smash that like button. So if we have a look at week 16 as an isolated week, we did manage to hit the target just about of over $78. And surprisingly enough, it was exactly the same as week 13. But you can see overall for the month, it is my lowest month to date. And that is because I've kind of shifted from selling puts to selling covered calls, because I'm assigned stock of Tesla and Meta. And what the challenges I've had in this portfolio is, especially in week 15, which was my lowest week, was that the CPI results came out and they were better than expected. And Meta especially jumped too fast, too quickly beyond my strike. So I'm going to walk through in this video what I've done with that position and what my thought process is behind what I've done, because my two covered calls that I've got, if you guys remember, that I placed in week 15, are way in the money at the moment. But in saying that, what I've had to do is take a risk on Tesla and sell a covered call very close to the current price. And you'll see how close, and that strike was breached yesterday as well. So one little bit of a strong move from Tesla could put me deeper inside the money. I'm currently out the money at the moment. But overall, I'm glad I managed to pull back $78 from the overall loss. Again, for those who've been following me from the beginning, even though the goal is just over $4,000 a month, the minimum goal is $2,500 a month to pay for my rent, my food, my utilities, all those expenses that just won't go away, even if I have a bad month trading. In terms of time spent, again, relatively easy. And again, you can see here that I have a lot of time on my hands here to whether I decide to do a part-time job to supplement my income or have a side hustle or something else. This here allows me that financial freedom. And if you compare to where we are on a year-to-date basis for cumulative tracker, we're 2.5 grand behind, so 16% behind, 2,500 from the goal of where we need to be. So I crawled that back from 17 to 16%, obviously, because I beat the weekly income tracker goal. So hopefully that all makes sense. And overall, I'm not too disappointed with where we are. I'm disappointed I'm assigned shares above my cost basis. I'm so used to utilizing the premium I'm receiving to track my break even and various other things. But we kind of are where we are. I've not added any trades or sold any more puts or anything like that. So I still have 12 grand available to play with if I need to do another put on Tesla, Meta, or another company. So if we have a look at the trades, as always, put the screenshot over here so you guys can pause the video and check those ones out if you want to check the individual trades of what I've done. But I always consolidate for you guys to make things a bit more easier to read. So Tesla was quite straightforward. We were nowhere near 232.50. So bought the 3 contracts back for $1 each. And as I said, I again had to roll down from 232.50 to 200, and I picked up $400 per contract. And where you can see this is at the 200 strike, and I own shares at 282.50. So if we head over to Tesla first, you can see here that I own 300 shares at 282.50, and we now have the $200 November 18th expiry. We are November 16th. I'm shooting this on a Wednesday before market open, and you can see here that we had a high of $200.80. So we are currently around this area here. We're potentially using this support area or this pivot, weekly pivot, as some resistance, as a support level, which we could easily bounce off. We've just come off, an oversold area here. So there is a likely opportunity here that we could start to see a push up. We do have a trend line kind of forming over here potentially if we get another touch point. So we could potentially end the week in the money, but this again might keep this line here actually, just to see how this looks, which could provide another area of trying to roll this up to the 210 potentially if Tesla continues to move down. If we start to look at trying to build out a channel, that's terrible. I don't think we kind of really have a channel here at the moment, so I'm not going to do that line there. So that's kind of where we got. I always like to use the weekly pivots and the monthly pivots just to kind of see where we are. We do have a missed October pivot. We did touch the November pivot early on inside the month, and it'd be interesting to see where the next pivot, probably around here, which will be again a key level going into December. So not much else really to report on Tesla. I'm quite comfortable with where everything is on that. I just need to watch out on that $200 strike, which again, 200 also being a psychological round number level, hopefully will provide some sort of resistance, which you kind of did on this previous 4-hour candle. Meta. So if we have a look at the chart of Meta, you can see here that I sold the $95 call for last week, and it's all for the November the 11th strike, and the CPI came out a couple of days before, and it came out on the Wednesday, and you can see here the massive gap up, and it's just continued to go over. We've now hit this weekly pivot. We've now hit the monthly pivot, and we've also hit this week's weekly pivot as well. So it came back to kind of touch these kind of zones. Could we potentially be doing that once the RSI continues to do that? Potentially, and this is where you get a conflict of where you own shares of a stock, but you have a deep in the money call here, where you actually want the stock to basically do that. Or what you want the stock to do is either do something like this. That's kind of ideally what you want, because the closer I can get Meta to my call strike price, the easier this is going to be to roll the option out to various other strikes. So what I've done is, because the call premium was just absolutely insane, it was really expensive to buy this option back. And you can see here, it cost me $4,000 to buy back the 2 contracts. So just under $2,000 per contract. I decided to keep the same strike and roll out the expiration to December the 2nd. So that's it's about a month away, just under a month when I actually rolled it. And you can see here that I managed to get a net debit of $90. So I actually paid money here, which is, for something who's trading for a living and already behind target, you don't really want to be doing trades for net debits. But I had to do that because I didn't want to get my shares called away at 95. Maybe in the future, I will look to potentially sell off Meta if it does get to, I don't know, 125 or something like that, just to get the capital back and restart again. But at the moment, not comfortable with where we kind of are. So I decided to buy myself some time to make that net debit as small as I possibly could to see what happens. Now, Meta could just do that, which would be the worst case scenario. I don't think we're out of this bear market. I do think this is another potential bear market rally. But what I tried to do is I made this strike before the CPI numbers for December, because if they come up better than expected again, then again, we'll see the stock market rally. So I'm looking for, there's got to be some sort of pullback or consolidation. We are getting close to this area, and not been there for a while on the 4-hour chart. Last time we were there? Last time we were there was when Meta was trading above $200, and when it did, that's when it started to tank even further. So I'm expected to see some short-term resistance coming up. So that's where my thought process is. So the only real thing I've got active in play at the moment to really generate money is Tesla. And I've also got this potential 12 grand that I might need to use depending on what happens to Tesla. If I can roll Tesla out and get 800 plus, I'll probably just do that. Just to, bank the 12 grand for a little bit longer and to really work out, we'll see where Meta's going. So I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it has given you some insights into how I'm trading this or what my thought processes are. And again, I'm sharing these videos every single week so you guys can see what is going on with this account. And if I don't make that, if we go back to what we are trying to do here, we're trying to make 53,000 divided by the initial 125 is a 42% return on your money in a year, which is extortionate. So you can just think if we had a 500k account or a 1 million account to go make 50k a year, how much easier that this would be. So it's a good challenge for me, really enjoying this, still making money every single month. Fortunately, I can't use that money. Assuming that I'm taking all of this money out. So therefore I can't lower my cost bases or break even, and just to really put myself through what it would be like to really simulate this process. So like, comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I shall see you guys in the next video.